好，换好了说一声啊。
That night, the sky on the set seemed calm. The cold air slipped slowly between the production tents, while the light of the set lamp bounced gently in the puddles of rain this afternoon. I, one of the behind-the-scenes documentary crew, stood at the edge of the set with camera in hand, preparing to record the rest of the activities after a fairly long shooting schedule. Usually at this hour, the actors are already getting into their respective cars, ready to go home to rest. But not with these two people, Bai Lu and Dylan Wang. They both looked still full of energy, as if the night was no reason to stop smiling. Wow, the atmosphere is really good at night, yes, Bai Lu said while looking at the sky. He was wearing a thick white jacket and a grey scarf wrapped loosely around his neck. His breath looks like a thin vapour in the cold. Dylan stood beside him, his hands tucked into his jacket pockets. Good, but very cold. Are you sure you don't want to get in the car? Bai Lu looked at him with an ignorant look. Not yet, I want pictures first. The lights here are really beautiful, it's a pity if they are not immortalized. I heard that reflex approaching. Can I help you take a picture? Bai Lu immediately smiled broadly. Sure, but Dylan has to come too. Dylan frowned. Me, I thought you wanted a landscape, not me. Scene, you're part of the scenery, wankheady, Bai Lu replied in a seductive tone. I almost laughed out loud hearing that. Dylan rolled his eyes, but a small smile he couldn't hide. Bai Lu took a position under the large chandelier that illuminated the empty set area. A warm yellow light fell on her face, making her skin appear to glow softly. Try, take it from here, he told me, pointing to the right. Let the light look behind me. Dylan stood nearby, looking at Bai Lu's phone screen that had been set to night mode. Good too, but you have to smile a little, don't look cold. Bai Lu looked at him quickly. If you want me to smile, you have to be in the photo too. Let me get warm. The reason is funny too, Dylan muttered with a slow laugh. Okay, but don't upload it if it's bad. If it's ugly, it means you're in the wrong pose, not me, Bai Lu replied quickly. I laughed a little behind the camera. They are like little children who tease each other endlessly. They also stood side by side. I counted down 1, 2, 3, smile. Click. The result, perfect. Night lights, dim stars, and two figures that seemed so comfortable standing side by side. But before I could show you the results, Bai Lu was already whining like a child. Try lighthearted, I want to see it first. I handed him the camera. He looked at the screen and immediately laughed out loud. Look, Dylan, why do you look so sleepy? Dylan approached, glancing at the screen. Where? That's cool but elegant still. Cold, yes, elegant, nope, replied Bai Lu while holding back laughter. You look like Nana. Dylan pretended to be offended. Then we repeat. Agree, but this time you're the one taking the photos. I'm the one modeling, Bai Lu challenged. Dylan immediately grinned. Okay, but get ready, I'm a terrible photographer. Bai Lu took up the position again, this time sitting on the wooden steps near set. The little lights on it created a soft glow around her hair. Dylan is holding my camera in a professional manner. Okay, look here, he said in a serious tone. Try smiling a little. Bai Lu smiled softly. Too sweet, reduce by 20%, Dylan commented. This is not mathematics, Bai Lu exclaimed with a laugh. Try the mysterious style, Dylan continued, still posing as a good photographer. Bai Lu raised her eyebrows and pretended to be a fashion model, putting on a dramatic pose with one hand on her chin. But because it was too serious, his hand slipped, and he almost lost his balance. Wow, almost fell, Dylan exclaimed quickly, holding his shoulder. Bai Lu chuckled in shame. See, I'm too talented to be an extreme model. Rather too active, Dylan replies with a laugh. The result is good here, look. They stared at the photos on the camera screen together. I watched from afar how their heads almost leaned back, laughing at the funny shots. Some of the crew members who were still at the scene were watching. One of them whispered to me, "They're like a real couple, yeah." I just smiled, maybe because they both have a happy aura, together they're all light. It's true, that night, even though the cold air was biting, the atmosphere was warm because these two people never stopped laughing. After being satisfied with the photos, Bai Lu again took out a small instant camera from her bag. "Now it's our turn, selfie," he said cheerfully. Dylan looked at him skeptically. "Instant camera? Seriously, are you still wearing that?" "Yes, Dong, instant photos have a soul," Bai Lu replied while preparing a film paper. They stood under a small tree decorated with chandeliers. Bai Lu raised the camera, Dylan lowered his head to align. "Ready, 1, 2. Trek." The photo comes out slowly from the instant camera. Bai Lu shook it slowly while waiting for the results to appear. As soon as the picture began to appear, he looked at her fixedly, then laughed contentedly. "Look, the results are great. We fit perfectly in the photo, yes." Dylan tilted his head. "I'm a little nervous, but you're a photogenic person." "That's a compliment, right? Take note, I rarely hear you say that." Dylan pretended not to care. "I'm just saying facts." "Sweet fact," Bai Lu muttered softly, but clearly enough for me to hear. I pretended to be busy with the tripod, so as not to be seen smiling myself. A few minutes later, the atmosphere relaxed even more. The lights of the set began to be extinguished one by one, leaving a faint light from around the tent. Bai Lu and Dylan sat side by side on plastic chairs, each staring at their photos. "It's funny, the pictures. It feels like it's not on set," Bai Lu said as she flipped through the small printout. "Yeah, it's more like a 2-night walk," Dylan replied casually. "If the director knows that we are even tourists tonight, we might be told to stay late tomorrow," Bai Lu joked. Dylan laughed quietly. "If I stay with you, no problem." Bai Lu was silent for a moment, then looked at him with an expression of disbelief. "Well, Dylan, Wang say sweet, record the date today." "Don't tell me you want to write in your journal," Dylan taunted. "No, I want to post it on Instagram," Bai Lu replied with a witty eye. No, I'm not ready to be an internet meme." Dylan hurriedly covered his face with his hands, making Bai Lu laugh out loud until his eyes glazed over. The atmosphere was really fluid that night. No pressure, no script, just two people enjoying their free time in the simplest way. Before parting ways, Bai Lu thrusts one of the instant photos to Dylan. "Here for you, so if you're tired, look at this photo and remember tonight." Dylan accepted the photo slowly. He looked at her for a moment, then smiled. "Thank you, I'll keep it, I promise." Bai Lu smiled back. "If you throw it away, I know from your negative aura later." "I'm afraid it's the same as the negative aura of the artist," Dylan replied with a laugh. "Yes, good." They laughed again. And for some reason, even though the night was getting late and the air was getting colder, none of us wanted that moment to end quickly. When they finally walked towards each other's cars, I photographed silently. Their silhouettes in the light of street lamps looked like two shadows walking side by side, relaxed, unscripted, without pretense. That night, I realized one thing. The best moments on set are not scenes full of emotion or big action, but rather when two people laugh together for no reason. And that's what I saw that night. Dylan, Wang and Bai Lu, two souls who filled the night with laughter, light and a little warmth that couldn't be faked.